families, creating a lifetime of memories. Sadly, some families are denied these important moments due to the sad practice of alienation. These are families divided.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Families Divided TV. Reuniting parents and children when there has been alienation can be very challenging. Due to the complexities of family dynamic, therapeutic intervention is often necessary to restore relationships. This helps to uncover hurt feelings and resentments so that healthy relationships may be restored between the parent and child. In this fast-paced world we live in, everyone wants a quick fix for their problems. Resolving parental alienation is no different, which has enabled a new crop of parental alienation experts to emerge onto the internet who claim they can restore parent-child relationships quickly and guaranteed. This lures vulnerable parents with hope along with their pocketbook to quickly fix their fractured relationship with their child. In this video, Susan Shofer discusses how the parental alienation quick fix programs have made their way into the internet and what to look for before you spend your money. I also want to say too, be careful of those who speak about being alienated from past family members who actually are still alienating their own children. So they're actually not what you're looking for either in dealing with alienation. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, pretty much. Anyway, we're going to be right back right after this message with Susan Shofer.
Divorce and co-parenting are a major life interruption for families, especially the kids, but also for parents and grandparents. And it's even worse in blame-filled, high-conflict cases. When parents engage in alienation by turning the kids against the other parent or grandparents, kids suffer. They're denied the opportunity to build the 4 big skills necessary for future resilience. New Ways for Families online class can help. Parents learn to use our popular BIF and EAR skills to calm the conflict and stop the hostile emails and texts. And we even have a class for kids and parents to learn together. Research shows a 75% improvement in joint parental decision-making after this course is taken, plus overall improvements for kids' well-being. Don't wait to make this affordable investment in your children's future and improve your well-being too. Start learning new ways for your family today at conflictplaybook.com.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Shofer, and today I'm going to talk about be wary of quick fix programs that guarantee to reunify you with your children. With the internet comes an abundance of wonderful resources that we now have at our fingertips, and most people get everything off the internet. You ask your friends, where'd you get that? They go, got it online. When we want something, we Google it, right? And now with AI, Google something, and before you know it, your emails are flooded with all kinds of information and your DMs and DMs in your IG. We get texts on our phone. We don't know where they come from. Welcome to 2024. Also, with the World Wide Web comes caution for buyers because marketers have become very savvy on how to approach their target market. They know the ways to use algorithms and how to move search engine optimization. And you may say, what does all that mean? Well, for marketing people, they master the ways to find anybody who is looking for anything. So you have to ask yourself some very specific questions, starting with any program that you go to buy, no matter what it is. You need to know if this is a professional marketer who happen to find a niche that they can profit from, exploit, or are they a longtime expert who's just advertising on the internet because that's where people advertise now. There's a lot of gimmicky promises out there on the internet. You know them. How to get rich quick, get thin quickly, get smart, find the love of your life. It's all out there. How many times are you watching something on YouTube and in comes an ad? Would you like to find your long lost whatever it is, right? Or how would you like to look 20 years younger? It's always there. Everything's the quick fix. Just buy it and you've got it. So it wouldn't be surprising that there are quick fixers who claim that they can help you reunify with your children, even if you're estranged, alienated, and you could have been alienated for years, 5 years, 10 years. They can help you reunify like this. It's fast. Now, this is a little disconcerting since alienated parents, in my view, are one of the most vulnerable group of people on the planet. So, they don't have any closure. They haven't seen their kids in a while. Many times they don't know what they've done wrong. They're told by other people this couldn't really happen. It's junk science, whatever it is, but they're desperate and they will do anything and everything with the hope of reuniting with their children. And if it's quick and easy, that's even better. If these promises of we can get your kids for you with words like guarantees or this is going to be fast, easy before you know it, please be wary. You know that old saying, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. It really means something in this scenario. You've done so many things in the past, it hasn't worked, and now somebody has landed in your lap with this promise to reunite you with your kids fast and now. You'll be with your children soon. I do this all the time, and I have great success. Really? Because I know a lot of legal and mental health professionals and clinicians who've been in this space will tell you repairing these very difficult relationships between parents and children is never fast, and it's not easy, and cannot be done with the drop of a hat. Okay. So listen, let's pull your emotion to the side a little bit. Bring in your rational brain. And whether this is happening to you, somebody you know, or if you're in the professional space, you really need to hear this because today I'm going to share the 4 main things to keep in mind before you purchase a quick fix program. You hear words like quick, fast, easy, don't worry about it. I've got the special sauce guaranteed to work. Think twice. Grab a piece of paper, pencil, pen, something to write with that, okay? So you can write down these 4 really important things to keep in mind. The first is, number 1, you cannot control the others in the army. What I mean by that is reuniting is not a quick fix. And I know that there's things that you have to do to maybe change your behaviors and all that other stuff that some of these programs can work with you on. But there's other people involved. And I can tell you, having been a high conflict divorce consultant and coach, that we often want to change that other person. Many times my clients will say, if they would just be reasonable, if they would just collaborate. But the problem is if you have somebody that is so oppositional or has a borderline personality or disorder or both, and they usually go hand in hand, it's very hard sometimes to collaborate. And I've had clients who've gone to mediation 4, 5, 6 times, and there's still no resolve. They end up going to trial, and if the person that's oppositional has a lot of money, they can do it. And if there's children involved and they're alienating the kids and the kids aren't talking to the parents, it's very difficult to just have a quick fix to get into that space and just suddenly fix it. There's no right or wrong in these situations. Well, maybe there are, who knows? But the bottom line, you can't control another person. So if you have a parent that's keeping a child from you, the child's doing the bidding, and oftentimes the parent in that sphere has their parents, or the grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, friends, all joining in as part of the army. Okay, you're doing all the right stuff, so to speak. But there's this whole group of gatekeepers. So let me kind of demonstrate what I mean by this. So years ago, I had a client who was an attorney, not a family law attorney, but a brilliant litigator, and she knew how to be fair both sides. And she was trying to reunite with her child. No quick fix. It was tough. And we worked together for a while, and she had legal counsel. I mean, this took a while for her to reunify with the children, or at least start to communicate with the children. And it all started with a mother-in-law who hated her from the minute she married her husband. The mother-in-law, when she got her divorce years ago, alienated her children, my client's husband and his siblings, from her ex-husband. Not surprising, we're seeing the same behavior again. We know these things can be a legacy. This divorce was a perfect storm for this mother-in-law to create all this false narrative about my client. And all of it had nothing to do with the children whatsoever. And it's like, did you really have to go to law school? You look like a Barbie. I mean, whatever it was really hyper focused on my client. And this kind of language went to the children. And what my client was dealing with wasn't just between she and her husband. It was the mother-in-law, the aunt, the girlfriend. So there was this army that she was going up against, and there was no quick fix for this. She knew that there would be no simple fix, no promises, because each situation is different. And you have different dynamics, personalities, histories, the sex of the children, the relationships they had beforehand. There just is not a quick fix. So when you hear that, know that there are complexities, and you want to assure yourself that you know that you can't control others. You just can't. Number two, and I think this is probably the most important. All four are important, but they are not in order of importance. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is, be suspicious of the definition of success. Always ask what that means. So we, or any parent or somebody who works in the space, when we talk about success, about bringing parents and children back together, we mean forever. Because the relationship between parent and child, really we think about from, as I call it, cradle to grave, child's cradle to the parent's grave, right? Not about, well, who gets custody for these few years, but it's about forever. So when we think of success, that's what we think. We get back on track, children are in our lives forever. But what we also know is that this kind of dynamic ebbs and flows. So your child talks to you on the phone, but later rejects you. Is that success? Is the success that they talk to you on the phone? Or your son that you haven't talked to in 5 years finally agrees to meet with you at a coffee shop, and you have a nice conversation and you think things are great, but then 2 days later he blocks you from the cell phone. Is that success? Is that considered success? Your child re-invites you to their high school graduation after telling you 2 and 3 months ago they don't want you to show up. Yet 2 days later after the graduation, they say they never want to see you again. Okay? So the reason you have to ask these questions is because children just don't behave on a linear path. It's not like as though they don't see you for 5 years. They agree. Instagram, they'll meet you at Starbucks. You show up, you have a great conversation. Yes, it's all better forever. It doesn't work that way. Their emotions ebb and flow. And that's the way I've always seen it. And I've been doing this a long time. Okay? And I've just never seen a quick fix. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just want you to be wary of that. Just this morning, and ironically enough, just this morning, I had somebody reach out to me who had purchased a quick fix program. And in their header said, oh my, I bought this and it didn't work. Let me tell you what happened. And sent me screenshots. Apparently what happened, she hadn't seen her child in 2 years. So she got the quick fixie and it was great. Everything was wonderful, fantastic. Met her daughter, they had a successful lunch and everything, again, great. They're texting back and forth. Success, right? Wrong. After 3 days of texting, on day 4, the mother texted the child and said, I love you, this is great. And the child wrote back and said, just to let you know, I'm blocking you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I mean, I have the screenshots. And the mom said, what's going on? And the daughter said, I have my reasons, I'm done, I'm blocking you. Boom, blocked. Was this a success? Success is only marked by continued relationship and not by a quick event. I've been in this space as a divorce consultant, high conflict divorce consultant coach for over 12 years. And I was a longtime agency private investigator prior to that and have testified a long time in court. And I can tell you, I've heard these cases so many times, I've seen them in my own profession, and that once a child has kind of been drawn into this conflict, there is an ebb and flow. And if they've kind of cut you off coming into it, and a lot of parents will say, they were brainwashed. Well, if they've been brainwashed, okay, it's just an unbrainwash. We know that people who have been in cults have been brainwashed or things like that. When they get out of those environments, they just don't skip out and go, well, I'm out. Many times they go into therapy, figure out how they got involved in that. There's a lot of dynamics. Also, when children haven't seen a parent for a while, they've missed a lot. Time has been missed. Feelings are hurt. Children may talk to you, but they still blame you. Well, is that considered success? I've had parents who have, had success, and then weeks later, everything goes back horrible. And they say, how is this possible? We were talking, we went shopping, we went overnight to the beach. They were great. And like they went back and now they've blocked me or they want nothing to do with me. So there's no quick fix. I had a case a few years ago where a mother had not talked to her kids for a while. They were living with the dad, and she was claiming alienation. I don't know, but the bottom line, the kids were not communicating with her. They finally did, and they met at a nearby coffee shop, and they did this for a couple weeks. It's like every 2 days a week, like Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she was so excited. The kids were 14 and 15. It was wonderful, and they were finally talking to her, and they were laughing, and she just thought, wow, we're on track. And yet the dad found out, moved the kids to sold his place in the city, moved the kids to the countryside. She didn't drive. She doesn't have a car. The kids are too young to drive. You get the story. Was that a success? I don't know. Now, that was not part of the quick fix program Reunite. What I want to demonstrate is the ebb and flow. Children were great. Now they're not. So in these quick fix programs, you want to ask, define the success. Is it that my child just talks to me? Is it that they will have lunch with me? Or is it a forever thing? You want to know that, because I have a feeling if you're purchasing the quick fix, you think it's going to be forever. Okay. Now, my talk today with you is not at all about the purpose, or not to discuss whether or not there's alienation or whether there's estrangement or what to do about it. I'm strictly addressing how to keep yourself in line with a true professional and to do your due diligence before you buy into a quick fix program. Now, here's number 3, and this is warning, warning, okay. If anybody encourages you to break the law, defy a custody arrangement, or ignore protective orders, run, run, run away. And I mean, do a dash, run. I've had people tell me over and over again through the years, judges don't know what they're talking about. The courts are all wrong. Nobody knows anything. The lawyers are stupid, And while that may be your opinion, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not, I don't know. However, let it be known this is the framework you're working under. Sorry, but it's true. And as a longtime private investigator, officer of the court, I can tell you what happens to people who break the law. And the judge, no matter what you think, has the power over you. And if you're being told by your kids, the other parent, that you're unhinged, that you're somebody to fear, that you're crazy, that you're unstable, whatever it is they say about you, you don't want to fall into that narrative. And you don't want to document it. I mean, it's one thing if you kind of lose your grip outside and you're yelling at the kids, not a good thing, not a good scene, especially if it gets videoed. But you don't want to do anything where it's documented by the law. So if you have somebody telling you, hey, listen, I know you have protective order, you still talk to those kids anyway. That's not a good way to go, because if you defy that protective order, yeah, you talk to your kids, and then a week or 2 later, the other parent says, wait a minute, there was a protective order. You were not allowed to talk to that parent. I'm telling the police that your other parent violated the protective order. And that parent gets picked up and they go to jail. And now that's documented. And it doesn't matter how you feel about it. Doesn't matter if you feel that it's been an injustice. Doesn't matter if your feelings are hurt. The bottom line, you defied a protective order. And there's something that we in PI speak used to say, and I believe they teach this in law school, and I can't be 100% sure, and that is the doctrine of clean hands, which means you cannot accuse somebody of doing something when you're doing it yourself. So if there's a protective order in place, you can't defy it. You can't say, well, my ex is doing this with the kids. Meanwhile, you have a protective order and you're breaking the order. Now, I know I'll get a lot of pushback. People will say, that's not fair. I can see my kids and I should be able to. I get it. You absolutely should be able to see your kids. I just said a couple minutes ago, the relationship between you and your children is from cradle to grave. Their cradle, your grave. It should be a lifelong journey. However, if you have a protective order against you, justly or not, many times it's not, it's just a ploy to keep you away from the kids, whatever it is, don't defy it. If a quick fix program is telling you, ignore it, let me show you how to get around it, don't do it. Because when you get caught, it just makes it worse for you. If you're in a contentious situation, which most are in these scenarios, you just have to follow the rules as best as you can. I've seen so many cases go badly because people go rogue. After you kind of get things settled down, talking with your kids, and things are great for a long time, all right? They're older, they've aged out. You want to become an activist? Fantastic. Don't do this. Don't test the waters for a quick fix program, because it can come back and really hurt you. And now for the number 4, and that is, when you do your due diligence, take a look at the person's background. Okay? How long have they been doing this work? Do they have degrees and certifications? How many people have they worked with? Can they talk to real clients of theirs and not just rely on testimonials on a website? And I'm not saying testimonials aren't great. I'm sure they're wonderful. They're great. They look amazing. Some people have 1 testimonial, some people 50. However, sometimes those pictures aren't a real person. Sometimes those names are changed. Sometimes they're not real testimonials. I don't know. I can't attest to that. But what I can tell you is ask for somebody they've worked with, or somebody's, this for 1 or 2. Real clients that they've worked with, what the success rate was, what happened. Now, of course, they'll give you the best of the best. It's like anything. They're not going to give you somebody where the situation was bad, but at least you could talk to a real client. And the other part of this look in their background, is this their main profession? Is this what they have committed their life to on a full-time basis? And what I mean by that, there's people who claim, they're weight loss experts. And this is just like their side hustle on a weekend because they work at a bank during the week. I don't know how much of an expert that makes them. Same thing here. Ask them, how many times have they been in the courtroom? What do they understand about the court system? What do they know? Do they know therapists in this space? Do they know people that if this doesn't work, that they can send you to undo what's gone badly? In other words, what is plan B when this doesn't work? If it doesn't work. You want to know that they know the industry, that they understand the dynamics very well, that they understand the court system, and they have plan B for you if it goes wrong. Now, the big question could be, well, why would it go badly? Well, not everything works. Not everything works in life. The quick fixes, well, it comes with a buyer beware. We've all had this happen to us before. Every single one of us has bought into, wow, I can get you thinner, younger. How many of us are watching infomercials late at night and somebody tells you get all the wrinkles off your face, and before you know it, you're on the phone, you got your credit card, and you're buying, a 6-month supply. We've all done it. Don't say you haven't, because you have. We know it. But this is different, guys. This is the relationship between you and your children. It's already shaky. it may be non-existent. This is something you want to repair and something that you want to do correctly, and you want to stay in the framework of the law. Some people have said to me, well, this is a legal thing. This is emotional. I'm like, well, not, but you've got a custody arrangement. You've got a protective order against you, or he's got or she's got a protective order against them. You guys kind of got this in the legal mess, and just you got to play within that framework. So I hope these 4 main things to look for are something that you keep in mind. I think they're very important. If you feel like the quick fix is the way you want to go, fantastic, it works for you. If it doesn't, then it's another, quick fix that didn't work. But before you, put your toe in the water, before you put your toe in the water, and definitely before you step into the pool, make sure you do your due diligence and find out what you're getting yourself into. You're vulnerable. You want to have a relationship with your children as quickly as possible. You want to make sure you do it the right way. I thank you for taking the time to spend with me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Susan Shofer. You can find me on my website or on Instagram or Facebook. And I hope you're well and you and your family can heal.
Next week on Families Divided TV, Dr. Chip Chimera discusses therapeutic work in high conflict families, a rough and bouncy ride.